here for the release of the bind-up novella, The Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. Do you want to just talk a little bit about the novellas just to start it off?
Yeah, Tales from Shadowhunter Academy focuses on the character Simon Lewis after the events of the Mortal Instruments, and I really wanted to talk a little bit about what happened to him afterwards, because he was really one of the only characters who I felt didn't have a really resolved ending. He was left with kind of a few questions about what was going to happen to him, so I wanted to address that. And also, I was really fascinated by the idea of the Shadowhunter Academy as a place that had been shut down because of Valentine and now was reopened and was taking students, and what was that going to be like. And so there's a lot in the book about, Simon both regaining his memories, also sort of developing an evolving social consciousness about the Clave and its prejudices and about the school itself. And I wrote it with three of my best friends, Maureen Johnson, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Robin Wasserman, who all love Simon, so it was a really fun experience.
Great. So because we're here for the release, what was your favorite one to write?
Of all the books, or of all the novellas?
Of like the novellas, which was your favorite novella?
I think it was probably Born to Endless Night, which is the one where Magnus finds a baby warlock on the steps of the academy, and he and Alec decide to adopt the baby, and they name it Max. And for me, it was just such a great moment for Magnus and Alec, a part of cementing their relationship as this wonderful and permanent thing. And also, there's something about warlocks that's fascinating to me because they are the children of human and demons, and they are all born of sort of loneliness and pain. Because the relationships between humans and demons are not either consensual, happy, or, pleasant. So for Magnus to find this baby is both confronting what it is about the truth about this baby and confronting that same thing about himself, that he also was, born of this, solitary darkness and born out of pain, but that he can do for this baby what nobody did for him. And so I really love both of those things about the story.
And of course it just gave us all a Malik feel.
Yes, well, there's nothing better than a good Malik feel.
Of course. So in this world, there are some crazy people who, just for whatever reason, they aren't big fans of continuous worlds, which I love, and you are obviously a fan of them as well. So what motivates you to continue writing the Shadowhunter world?
I mean, for me, I think that, I understand that, like, for some people, I think they feel like, it's really hard. Maybe they feel like they've been burned before, that, like, there have been authors who have kept writing in a world when they didn't really want to, or something happened that they didn't want to have happen that changed how they felt about the previous books. I mean, there's always, those questions. But for me, I love a continuous world series because I love the ability that writers have to deepen and complicate the world. Every time you start something new, and this is both a good and a bad thing, you have to establish the world, the rules of the world, how the magic works, the characters, who they are, and when you have that already established, you can do so much with exploring, the depths of those characters, putting them in new situations, changing the rules of the world in ways that are interesting that you can't do with something that you've just established. And for me, the Shadowhunter world was built, like, specifically when I created it to be able to accommodate many different kinds of stories. So I've done present day, and I've done historical, and I've done it in America, and I've done it in England, and I'm going to do it. I've done New York and London. I'm going to do Paris. And so one of the things for me that's wonderful is to be able to keep telling sort of new stories in this setting, and to be able to tell them in 1,000 places and 1,000 different time periods.
And it's very, very obvious to me that you love this world.
I really love it.
It's very obvious in your writing how much you love it, which I think is super powerful. So you have gone to, like, all of these different events. You're always at conventions. We're here at a signing now. So do you have any, like, really memorable fan moments that, like, really stand out to you, whether it's even just, like, an interaction online or if it's at a signing or anything?
I think for me the most meaningful thing has been to have so many people come up and tell me how much Magnus and Alec mean to them personally. That's meant a lot to me. And I was just actually in Dubai. I was in charge of the United Arab Emirates, and I did a signing, and I had a bunch of kids come up, and clearly, they were talking about how they lived in a place where to be gay was not socially accepted, but that then they had read these books and they had found a character that made them accept themselves. And to hear that meant a huge amount to me. So, and I've heard also from a lot of readers about Ty in the new Dark Artifices series, who has autism, and what he's meant to them in terms of representation. So I think whenever I hear from someone who has seen themselves in a character, whatever that character is, that's what means the most to me.
It sounds like one of the most rewarding things I can come from.
I always cry. I'm trying not to cry now because my eye makeup will come off.
You're more than welcome to cry here. Great, so this is a question that I personally get asked once a week, and I can't even imagine how many times you get asked this like daily. But how do you recommend reading the Shadowhunter Chronicles? You have so many different books and nobody wants to be spoiled, so like, do you recommend always publication order? Do you say like read these books and then you can take a break and then read these? Is there like one way that is like the canon way to read the Shadowhunter Chronicles?
I mean, okay, the like patented like Cassandra Clare way to read them is to read them in publication order.
Okay.
But a lot of people are understandably don't necessarily want to do that because they like to finish out the story that they're reading before they start a new book. So if you're one of those people, I would recommend reading Mortal Instruments, Infernal Devices, and then Dark Artifices.
Okay. It's good to know.
Definitely don't start with the Dark Artifices.
Oh my gosh, no. I have people that are like, do I have to read the rest of her books to read Lady Midnight? And I'm like, yes.
You kind of, yeah. I mean, like, unless you don't ever want to read the earlier ones, then you can start with it.
But who wouldn't, honestly?
I mean, hopefully.
So if any of your characters from any era, any time period, any place, if they were to walk into Starbucks together, like just a group of them, what would any of their orders be?
Well, I mean, technically speaking, the Mortal Instruments characters can walk into Starbucks.
This is very true.
But so it's kind of interesting to me to think of like the Infernal Devices characters. I think that they would walk in and they would be upset that there was so much coffee and not tea.
Enough tea.
And so Will would definitely have tea.
There is quite an imbalance on their menu.
I know. Will would definitely have tea and probably be, I wish there were more varieties of tea. And Jem might have hot chocolate. We like sweet things.
So much.
But Tessa hates chocolate, so I think she would be the one who would go for the coffee.
Go for the coffee.
Yeah.
I can just imagine Will just like throwing a tantrum like,
oh my god,
you don't have enough tea.
I know, I can probably make up a song about tea.
Oh my gosh. So one of the things I love most about your books is your plot twists. I think you're so talented at writing all of these shock factor moments. Do you have a favorite one that you've written or one that stands out to you that I'm like, you like have to sit back and like put your hands together like they're gonna love this?
I usually think, oh my god, they're going to be so mad. But, like, I think that, like, the oh my god, they're going to be so mad and the oh my god, they're going to love it kind of come, like, layered together in a lot of ways. For obviously the first twist in which we discovered Jason Clare's brother and sister, I got so much angry mail for, like,
oh my god,
a year.
That was the first one.
Oh, I know, and I was like, maybe I've ruined my career. But, like, but I think it established the series as one that was going to have a lot of twists. Then I think the one in the Clockwork series, like the emotional twist where Will goes and finds out the curse isn't real and comes to tell Tessa that he loves him, but she's already accepted Jem's proposal, was a great scene for me to write. Like I felt like it was so painful. Like it was filled with so much like emotional agony for both of the characters in that scene because they're both full of like incredible like love, but also regret and pain, and it's this terrible situation, but it can't be fixed. So I enjoyed that. And there's also a twist at the end of Lord of Shadows that's really brutal.
God. I'm like not even
and I wrote it, and my editor was like, "Oh my god!"
And then we have to wait a whole
extra
year
I know.
We start the last hour.
Even I'm kind of like, "Oh my gosh."
So we currently have it set, at least to my knowledge, I'm sure you know more than I do, that the Wicked Powers is kind of meant to be like the wrap-up. We have the Dark Artifices, we have the Magnus Trilogy, we have the Last Hours, and the Wicked Powers, and those are like the upcoming established series.
Yes.
So because we have this somewhat ending, are there any institutes or eras of the Shadowhunter world that you don't think you're really going to get to publish a series for, but you'd be interested to explore more from? So like whether you write from it or not, like what is one thing you're interested in?
There are so many that are really fun. Let me think. I mean, one of the time periods that I know a lot about that I've never been able really to write about is the Regency period in England, and so I'd love to do a kind of Regency era story with Shadowhunters and Cassandra Jean, who is an artist who does a lot of really beautiful she's fantastic, has been doing this like AU in pictures of like Shadowhunters in the Wild West. And it really made me think about like how that would work.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
So I was like, oh yeah, that would I was kind of excited about that. It would be fun.
That's very cool. Okay, so this is like a personal question for me that I have always wanted to ask you. So we have this rune that comes up in City of Bones for the first time when Clary's on top of Hotel Telmort. She sees the rune with like the wings and the bar attaching them. That was in City of Bones. We didn't really find out the meaning until much, much later in City of Comely Fire, right? So because the Mortal Entrance was originally like this trilogy, did you originally have a different purpose for that rune, or did you have a feeling of its end game? Like, did anything change along that rune?
I think I would say that I knew what the rune signified, which was to me it signified like an intensified angelic power.
Okay.
And I knew that I wanted her to think of it there so that it would come up again later. And I never wanted to finish writing about Shadowhunters with that first trilogy. It's just that you never know. You never know if it's going to be successful, if people are going to like it. So I hoped there would be more. And I felt like if there were more, then I would get to implement this rune and I would get to use it. And luckily, there were more. And so I got to use it with the Heavenly Fire rune, which really is just the idea of more direct and like powerful angelic magic.
Oh, that's fascinating. I've ever been like very satisfied with that answer. So out of all of your current works that you have published, because you've had a lot now, obviously you've been all around with editing. I mean, I remember you saying you wrote Lady Midnight like twice.
Oh god, yeah.
So has there ever been a scene that that was either cut out completely or that was really changed that you loved, like from the first draft that we didn't fully get to see?
I mean, it happens a lot, but the one I'm thinking of right now was in Lord of Shadows. The characters go to London, and so there's a scene. There was a scene I wrote with Emma and Julian on Blackfriars Bridge.
Oh my god!
And they're talking about the characters from Infernal Devices, what they know about them, what they know about, because they know Jem and Tessa, and they know about their history, and she's kind of like, it's so beautiful and romantic, and he's like, but was it really fair to Will? And she's like, but it was fair to Will. They're having this whole like discussion about love, and they're kind of talking about their own relationship, which they can't talk about through the medium of talking about this relationship in the past, and I had to cut it.
No!
I know, I was so sad. Like, the book is gigantic, and like there was no way. I was just like, this book is like 213,000 words, and my editor was like, this can't, you can't. But the good news is that it was cut, but it's going to appear in some of the editions of Lord of Shadows as like an extra in the back.
That's so exciting. So at least I was about to ask.
I know, because I was so sad.
I'm like, you're getting all hyped up. I'm like, oh my gosh, and you're like, it was cut.
I know.
But at least we do get to see it, which I'm very, very happy about.
We will get to see it.
Oh my gosh. So kind of to conclude things, I have been hearing rumors, and I'm very obviously saying these are rumors, for a very long time that the ending of the Dark Artifices is more heartbreaking than the ending of the Infernal Devices. I know you obviously can't tell us anything like definite or what happens, but do you believe this is true?
I'm actually like literally trying to remember if I actually said that or if I said it about Dark Artifices or
like I said, it was a rumor, so
I know I'm trying, or if I said like there's heartbreaking scenes. I think what I would say is that more than any of the other books that are series, Dark Artifices leads into Wicked Powers. And two of the characters from the Dark Artifice series become the main characters of Wicked Powers.
Oh.
So what I would say is that it ends in a place where there are some things that are not resolved in a way that's probably going to feel painful.
Oh no, are you going to break this again?
I don't want you guys permanently broken, Like, okay, I want you to remain.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Remain like in good shape so you can read the next book, right? But like, I think that it ends on a note because it's partially and definitely a series about the Clave, the government of the Clave, what the cold peace means, what the fact that the government is kind of bigoted and problematic, means for these kids and the way that they need to change it. And of course, by the end of Dark Artifices, the government can't be completely fixed because that's the plot of the Wicked Powers. So I think that we end in a place where things are not great for a bunch of people, and that's going to be hard, and sad. But hopefully people know that going into Wicked Powers, that second story will resolve things.
Okay, well that's very good to know. Great.
It's not just like, and the snow blew over the graves.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well you definitely calmed me a little bit.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it.
I've been thinking this for like
I know, I'm like literally like, did I say that? I have no idea, maybe. I don't want to say I
how
didn't,
crazy the
but-
internet can get over books.
I mean, I love it, you know, I think it's great that people get super excited.
Of course.
I remember when the Harry Potter books were coming out and there was like a fake new title, like Harry Potter and the, you know, Lost Pencil of Doom, like
Oh my
every
gosh.
week. And it was very exciting, so.
Alrighty, well, that's it for this video. Cassie, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on my channel because you're the reason I started my channel.
That's so awesome. I didn't
So
know
full
that.
circle.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So
I really
thank you
enjoyed
so
it.
much. I will leave links to where you can check out this awesome new novella bind-up. I've already read them. They're fabulous, and if you're a fan of the Shadowhunter Chronicles, you really do need them in your life. And I'll obviously leave all of Cassie's social media links, her website, Goodreads pages, all that good stuff is in the description. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye.
Bye.